Hey, I'm Terrence.
And I'm Travis. And we're going to be talking about the first 2 episodes of The Walking Dead. But first, we want to talk about our little adventure at the premiere. I was lucky enough to get 2 tickets to the premiere, which was at the, the Hollywood
Forever Cemetery
in LA.
I thought it was a really great experience overall. When we were sitting in line, we actually were waiting. We showed up an hour earlier than they said to show up, which, by accident, but it worked out great for us because then we got passes to go see The Talking Dead. And I gotta say this. We were standing in line and Travis decided that this guy was giving out these bracelets and these other things, and so he left and got out the line. He came back. I was like, what was that? He was like, oh, they're letting people in The Walking Dead. And then we stayed in line for about another 5 minutes. And then he looks back and he's like, oh man, they got lanyards. I thought that he was going to cry.
Not going to cry. A little upset. Wasn't going to cry.
Anyway, I thought it was funny. Anyway, so we were inside the venue. They giving away free popcorn and a couple other things.
Give away tissues. They give away tissues.
If we want to highlight that, then that's cool.
It was a sad episode.
And so they ended up giving away a couple free things, and then we did our little Facebook Live to just show the venue. You can probably go check that out if you're on my page or his page. Anyway, and so then we got to watch the show. Everybody was about a bottle deep, in wine, or couple beers deep. At least the people sitting around us, and so it was interesting to see the reaction of some people because I actually pulled back from watching the show for a minute to just look around and see everybody else's reaction to this, and I think one of the most powerful scenes is not necessarily when Abraham got it right. Abraham just kind of sat up and was like, "Dude, give me what you got," right? And then when a lot of people suspected that Glenn was going to get it too. I don't read the comic books, so I'm going to live in the land of the show. And in the land of the show, nobody knew who was going to get it. We just knew somebody was going to get it. And so, meanwhile, I'm in the audience. I'm looking around, and the lady to the right of me, she's bawling, right, when Glenn got it. First, she was teared up when Abraham got it, and then when Glenn got it, she was just, I'm talking full on. And I didn't have any Walking Dead tissues to give her, so.
But I think why people were doing that, though, is more for Glenn than it was for Abraham, was because, for 7 years, people, got attached to Glenn. And I think that's why there was so many more people upset about Glenn than Abraham.
Well, I will say this, though. I'm going to miss Abraham as a character.
Yes.
Also, when Abraham first showed up, I don't know why people don't, or maybe people are saying this. Maybe this is the buzz, right? This is my obsession with Abraham is his hair, right? I feel like he had Dapper Dan tucked somewhere away because in every episode, I was sitting there looking, I was like, how does he do it? You're in a post-apocalyptic world and there's no hairspray around, so I'm assuming that he has some Dapper Dan. Glenn, I think, was a really good character. Clearly everybody knows that. And then I think the part that got everybody in the audience was when he said, Maggie, I'll find you. That I think was what sparked a lot of people to actually start crying. As I'm looking around, especially when he got it and then they showed his face, I think for me, had that have been any other character, if that was just a movie where I wasn't that as invested in the character, I think I probably would have just started cracking jokes.
After Negan started leaving and everybody, there was the guy and he took the photos. And
okay.
There was I don't know his name, some random guy, but he was taking the photos. And if you remember the episode where Glenn sees all those pictures on the wall,
yeah,
you see the guy take the photo. And I didn't catch that the first couple of times I watched the episode. But then after the episode, when they moved us all into The Talking Dead. That's where we had like a great time. I mean, I was in the front. Terrence was a couple rows back behind me, and that was an experience that was unlike any other experience. Just seeing all the stuff that they do that you don't catch on the camera. I really wish we could have had our cameras out so we could have recorded it, because I got to meet Andrew Lincoln and Norman Reedus. They shook our hands and asked us what we thought, how we were doing. So they're really laid back. I really enjoyed how the cast, you know, expressed their you know, how down to earth they are, how they really are a family, not only on set but outside the set. And you see that when the cameras aren't rolling.
Well, I also thought that you know, well, actually, I regret not being able to take as much pictures as I wanted to because my phone died, and yeah, that's it. My phone died. Also, I would have loved to stand up and turn around because the rest of the cast was behind us, so there wasn't the whole cast that was up there. But I did get to get a couple pictures of Carol and well, a couple other cast members. Anyway. Yeah, I thought that the whole venue was great.
After the show aired, you know, and everybody was getting ready to leave, I talked with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and asked him if he could sign my shirt because I was wearing a Lucille shirt, and I was like the only one, especially in my area, that was wearing anything Negan or Lucille related. And I asked him if he would sign my shirt and notebook, and he's like, yeah. So here's a little shirt. Got his autograph, and he's real cool to say. I wish I would have had my camera to take a picture, but I just couldn't get it out in time.
Okay, so after the whole experience, and then we had, you know, we got to see all the cast members and everything, and we got to watch the show. And when we you know, after the episode was over, you know, you're just left with this hole in your heart. You know, you feel like it just got ripped out. You know, and then, you know, like you really needed a break because most of the time, you know, if you have a serious movie, you know, there's always the comic relief, right? So, or some sort of relief, like you can't stay in that tension too long. And I was glad that rolling into the next episode, they didn't have that sort of tension. Like you felt, you know, a little bit of tension, but I mean, overall, you know, like they were just establishing what the kingdom was, who King Ezekiel was, and what the environment was in this new community that Carol's in. You know, that said, you know what's gonna go down at some point after you saw the exchange with the pigs. You know, I think it was a great segue. You know, from you know, them going to the community. Carol and Morgan. I think it was great that Carol and Morgan went to this community, and you know, like Morgan actually, shit. What am I trying to say? Let's start from the beginning. I'll edit this. So you have Carol and Morgan, and the kingdom, is run by King Ezekiel, and King Ezekiel has a tiger.
Ezekiel is trying to keep his community, you know, without, like he said in the episode, if everybody knew about this, they would want to fight, but he wants to keep his people alive. He knows for a fact that a lot of people will die in this, and with him, he doesn't like the whole thing with the saviors and having to pay them, but I do like what they did with the pigs, because they are feeding, and if that does make it the whole tainted meat thing, he's slowly poisoning them. So it kind of shows you the idea of what he is. He gives you that front, but he's got something in his head that he's gonna get you from the, you know, he's playing the long game, you know, rather than the short attack. He's like, I'll get you, you know, that way.
Honestly, like, I was saying this before, like I would have did the same thing. They came and then they demanded all this stuff. Personally, if they came and they said we want happy medicine, this, that, and the other, you know, they might get some arsenic in their antibiotics. You know, like you know, you never know. You know, and I'm just assuming, you know, that that's where Ezekiel's going with that. But also, I think that they've actually showed that there are more communities out there, because you've had, you know, there's one character in there that, you know, he's definitely the comic part of the kingdom, right? Which is, I guess, if you have King Ezekiel, then you have the jester, which is Jerry, right?
Yep. Deuces. Hashtag fruit time. It's fruit time. Hope they don't kill him. At least not right away. But he is a character that he's expendable.
He's a red suit.
Yep.
He's a red suit.
Yep. Yep. He wears the red armor. And
he's a red suit.
So I hope he stays around for a while. But
if he dies, like, at least give him like a comedic death. You know, I mean, I know that all their deaths are serious, right? So at least like let him go out by saying like deuces, and then strapping a grenade to his chest and just running at Negan or something. You know, I don't know. Just give us something, right? Like, 'cause I feel like there's a lot of places you can go with him. You know, so keep him around as this you know, like, and maybe he has a serious moment. Maybe that's, you know, like that's a defining point for him as a character. Is like maybe he has a serious moment. And you're like, whoa, Jerry is serious. Then he comes right back to Jerry, just bam. But right now we don't have enough about him. Like, I'm not emotionally invested in him. I just thought that he was a funny guy.
Yeah, I think he's just a character that just kind of stuck out. I don't think they meant anything by it in the show. Everybody just kind of picked up on him, and now he's trending everywhere. So till next time, we'll be in shouting distance.